everyone, it's Jackie, and today I'm going to show you a flip through of a mini album that I made for an event I recently attended called Riversong. It was a weekend getaway, the first singing retreat ever held in Canada, and I was so happy to be a part of it. It was put on by my choir. I want to say a big hello to my choir friends who I've invited to view this video. You guys might not know I've had a YouTube channel sharing my creative memory keeping for quite a few years now. If you are interested in creative memory keeping, my sister and I get together every Saturday night and work on it. So if you ever want to join us, I would love to be creative with any of my choir friends. Just reach out to me and let me know. So this is a binder, and it's small. It was made using this kit from Holtz, which I got on clearance, obviously. Although I think it's back up to regular price now, but it's called Life Chronicles, and it came with 231 pieces, which included the binder, pocket pages, pages for the book, little bits of journaling cards, and ephemera, and label stickers. And that's pretty much, I added a few things into it outside of that box, but mostly this all comes from the box. To decorate the cover, I used inks to paint it. So I painted blue around the outside. I did copper on the corners, which is this Liquitex iridescent rich bronze. And I used some gold ink as well. I have this Liquitex that comes in gold too. I stamped some music notes on the cover using a Prima stamp. And they're just faded and vintagey in the background. I used brown ink for that. And it said, I don't know, photos or something there. It said journal across this. So I just cut out a little sheet of cardstock to fit it. And then I just colored it using distress inks in tumbled glass and vintage photo. And brush lettered. I used a brush marker to letter out Riversong 2018. And then, I don't know if you can see, but then I also used a gold paint pen to outline the letters. And that's just this like deco color, calligraphy, like a paint pen. And that's how I did my cover. I always use permanent things on the cover so that it lasts. I also treated it with acrylic spray to give it a protective coating in case it ever gets wet. The colors won't run and it'll stay in good shape, which I typically do with covers of books. And this is the inside. For the inside cover, I just again used more distress ink. I just used like the soft pink color and a music stencil. And I just put some pink ink down, and then I glued down some Holtz tissue paper that was also music notes. And then I just used some white gesso with my finger, and I just kind of rubbed it on, and that's how I gave it sort of that vintage look. Nice and simple. And then I just put the sticker down, wild and free, because that's how we were feeling. And then this is a necklace I was given because I was a helper at the event. It's, I believe, birch bark. I don't know how they cut it into a heart, but I loved it so much I wanted to save it. So I just glued it onto my inside cover, and that was difficult. I had to clamp it down with 3 clamps and let it sit overnight. But it's in there now, and now I've got it forever, so that's great. And then the pages are kind of an awkward size. They're 3.5 inches by 7 inches. And it came with 3 different kinds of pages in the kit. 2 squares, 3 rectangles, and just like straight pages. So I just kind of put all the cards in and all the pages ahead of time and just worked in it as I went. I actually started the book while I was at the event, and then I finished it when I got home. So I'll take you through the pages. There's quite a few of them, so I'll go through them pretty quickly. But each day I put a tab with a little silver sticker that says the day of the week it was. We were there from Friday till Monday. And that way I can easily flip between days. There's 4 tabs in there. And this is just a picture of the luggage that I brought that I fussy cut out. Did some journaling, and I just used a lot of washi stickers in here too. I took a picture of my sister and our friend who was traveling with us, and I put happy camper. And that was just from like a sticker pad. And I do a lot of journaling, so anywhere there's a space to write, I do. And then this is one of the full-size pages, and so there's a picture of us all in the car, and it's funny because it's so dark because we had so much luggage in the car between the 4 of us that you couldn't really see out any of the windows. So I just kind of enjoyed how dark that picture was, and then I also took a picture of the trunk when it was so full. And I just put little journal spots, little tags to write in some words. When we got there, we were greeted by Steph and Rama, and they were at the, my sister's Riversong poster was up there, so that was so nice to see when we came in. They gave us a paper map of the camp, and what I've done in this book is I've just cut elements out of it and watercolored them, and so that's where this Camp Niconis came from. That was the name of the camp we stayed at. Put this little thing that said, "This must be the place." I took a picture of my sister and her friend with their matching shirts, and the shirt said, "I came here to sing and take naps, and I'm not tired." So I just typed that out on my typewriter and stuck that on the card so I wouldn't forget, because you can't really read it in the photo. We hauled all our stuff in with wheelbarrows, so I took a picture of all the full wheelbarrows. Then we saw Justin and Paul making lamps was one of the first things we saw when we came in, so I put their picture in because the lamps were just stunning. Justin makes these and they're just incredible. They have this geometric precision, and when they're lit up, they're amazing. I just did a little journal spot here, so I just use white cardstock and I just do a little watercolor outline and some writing. Then I put a picture of Lizzie and her kitchen staff. They took care of all the meals for the event, and so here they are serving lunch. And this again was cut out of the map, and that was the building where we ate all our meals, called Nelson Hall. And I just write anywhere that there's space. Then I didn't have any pictures for the next little bit, so I just wrote and wrote and wrote and put down this little butterfly. His wings come up so he can look like Flappy because he's a post-it note. And then we had our first circle to say hello to everyone, so it's opening circle. I just use a brush pen to letter that, and then I've got a picture of Lawrence and Amy. They were our song leaders, and they were just teaching us the first few songs of the event. And another picture that's more of an aerial view of us all sitting in a circle. And then this again came from the map. Sometimes the paper's too busy to write on, so I just type out my journaling. I cut it into strips and glue them down. I don't actually use pocket pages very often, so it was a little challenging for me. Sometimes I go outside the pockets if they're not the size I want. We were divided into what we were calling bird groups, and so I just put this picture of a bird so I didn't forget. And we went outside and I caught a frog, so I put a picture of my frog there, and I just stamped out "I caught a frog," is some alpha letters down there. And then I took some pictures at dinner. Annie and Jill Marie were sitting at the table, so I took their picture, and they're just so lovely. I had this card that had the whole alphabet on it, so I just cut out some letters to spell yum, and there was a picture of dinner. We had stuffed squash. It was full of, I think, lamb and rice. Oh yeah, that's what I wrote, squash with lemon rice. And that's why I keep these journals, is because I forget everything, and the more I write down, the more I realize I am forgetting everything all the time. And that's why I feel compelled to do this. If you're on the Sing for Joy Facebook group, you might have seen this page already. This is where I recorded the songs that we sang, because again, I don't want to remember all the songs that I learned. I don't want to forget all the songs that I learned. So if I don't write them down, I will forget. Even reading this now, I'm like, oh, that's right, we learned this song and we learned this song. So I use an equal line brush marker to letter out evening song circle. I use my typewriter to do the journaling, and then I just wrote out the songs normally. And I find it's easier to read a page when things are broken up that way than if it's just like a straight block of text. I find I'm pretty impatient when it comes to reading. I'm going to pick up the pace a little, or else I won't make it to this book by the end of 15 minutes. Then I took some pictures in the camp. There's my sister climbing up on the bunk, and there's from the map the picture of our camp called McNichols. I put some snacks in the cabin, so I took a picture of those. I had some chipboard stickers that I put on in this book too. In the morning, we were woken up to Jerry and his songbirds coming around singing in front of the cabin, so I had this picture. I think Annie took that one. She posted it on the Facebook group, and I just printed it out and added it to my book. And then I just did some general thoughts about the morning. Here's what we had for breakfast. I like to start my mornings with a walk through the labyrinth. And I didn't have a picture of the labyrinth because it's sort of grown over and hard to spot, so I just printed out something to conjure up the memory in my mind. My sister and I worked the welcome table, so I took my sister's picture that morning. And then in the afternoon, I was sitting and working in this book, and actually a lot of people came to sit with me, so I took their pictures as they sat down. Sometimes I just like to fuss over a picture of Annie, and that's what I did here. Because these pages are so big, sometimes I had to go sideways, so we took a group photo, and there we all are. I had this All of Us sticker, but it didn't show up on the page, so I just put some gesso down, and now it pops. And then we get into, this is Saturday, so I've changed tabs. My sister and I took a walk down the trail, so I just put pictures of the trail, a picture of my sister and a picture of me. And then I liked how green it was, so I painted the page green too. And then the trail leads down to the beach, and so I took some pictures from the beach and I just lettered that. And there's people sitting on the dock. And then I have some pictures from lunch, some cat's cradle happening there, more journaling. My sister and I put on art classes in the afternoon, so there we are sitting there waiting for people to show up. And then there's our full table of artists, and we taught painting with nature, so I just brush scripted that in. I like to just brush script like keywords, and that way I don't have to read the whole page if I don't want to. I get the idea just from the words that stand out. Most of these pages were already so pretty I didn't have to decorate them much. Like I just put a little die cut on and a sticker on this one. This was a picture we took of 4 generations of choir goers. My sister's friend Jen invited my sister, who invited me, who invited Nikki. And so we all stacked up and took a picture. Then Nikki and I skipped dinner. We went to see the sunset. So there's the sun setting over Georgian Bay. And I was surprised that picture turned out so well, actually. And she and I took a selfie down there. Then we had a bonfire song circle. So once again, I just wrote out everyone that shared songs that stood, that stayed in my memory. And when we walked up, we heard people singing, burn, fire, fire, burn, fire, burn, fire, flicker, flicker higher. So I just typed that out too, so I wouldn't forget it. Did another sideways page here that says, alone we can do little, together we can do much. And I just said the best moment was when Lawrence taught us life is really weird, which was the song. And then the next morning, oh morning what a joy, that was a song we sang, and I have been singing it every morning since we went. I love it. And I was doing the schedule boards, so I thought, why not just write down what the schedule was? And so I just put that on a piece of cardstock. And this is just a date card. Then I've got pictures from breakfast. I braided Nikki's hair, so I put a picture of that. Then we ran into Annie and Ralph was doing like a model pose in this picture. More journaling. This is a picture of me hiding from the sun, which is what I do in the summer. I put on a hat and bug spray and sunscreen, and I sit in the shade. So I just wanted to capture that. I put this as my summer look. Then we did classes again that afternoon. This was a class that was next to me. They were playing instruments. I think they're called kora. I'm not sure what the instrument's called, but they were creating beautiful music. My sister and I did another art class. This time it was almost all little girls. And then I just made notes about the other classes that went on since I didn't get to go see them because I was running one. Back down at the beach, and I just took a picture of my sister waiting, and there's Annie taking photos from the dock, more people sitting on the shore. The minnows are so dense in there, and they like snack on your feet when you're waiting around, so I just put this fish sticker to kind of remember that. It was so funny. Then we did our closing circle where everyone gave thanks for the people that had helped out with the event, and there was a song that was sang by Andrew and Paul that went, you help us grow, you help us to live, we all have different jobs to do, so thank you for what you give. And so I wrote that out so I wouldn't forget. There's my sister and I going in the circle. There were so many pictures from this, but I just decided to include the one of our song leaders, Amy and Lawrence, in the middle of the circle. Lots of journaling, and I wrote out all the songs that we sang here too. Trees Grow Slow, and some other songs there. And then for supper that night, I just put a picture of the menu board and our friendly dishwashers. We had another bonfire, so I just cut out these letters, and I think these pictures were actually ones that were on the Facebook group. I don't think I took them. And I just brushed letter titles, and I listed all the songs again that we did. And I listed them all here. I just stamp out Sing All Night, and I stamped some music notes. I put a clock, and I put like 11:45 or 5 to 12 on it, because that's about how late we were there. And I just wrote down all the songs, and I just used watercolor to highlight people's names that shared them. And then the next day, we're on Monday now, it's pretty short. We just took some photos, and one thing that was funny was that there's like a little sign in there's like a bulletin board in the cabin where people had signed it, and there was already a Jackie and a Nicole there, and I'm Jackie and my friend was Nicole, so we just wrote another Jackie and Nicole were also here. And then one last round of Mango Mango. I just took a screen capture from the video, and that's it. What a weekend. And my name tag from the event. So that's it. That's the book. Come creative journal with me. Thanks so much for watching.